If you're visiting Portugal, whether it's a lovely holiday or you're coming to check out whether you could actually live here one day, then this video is for you. Either way, you want to be able to say more than just hola and obrigada when you get there. So today I'm keeping it really simple and giving you the phrases you'll genuinely use on your first trip. By the end, you'll be able to order coffee, interact with the locals, find your way around, all of it. If you don't know me, I'm Liz and I help English speakers globally build their confidence in speaking European Portuguese. Before we dive in, there is one small thing that makes a massive difference. These phrases will only work if people can understand you. And to be honest, European Portuguese pronunciation is pretty difficult for all of us at the start. So to help you out, I have put together a free pronunciation guide. It covers the exact sounds that you need to master if you want people to understand you. You can find the link to download it in the description. So grab a copy now, it's going to make everything you learn in this video sound much more natural. So I do have a whole separate video on greetings, so you can check that one out next if you want to learn how to greet people. But a couple of really useful phrases that will help you grab people's attention and ask nicely how they are a really good place to start for this video. So the first one is com licença. Com licença. This means excuse me, and you will use it when you are wanting to get somebody's attention or when you're like trying to get past somebody. It's like a way of asking for permission. So let's break down how to pronounce this very important phrase. Now, if you've seen my videos before, you might have seen me talking about this particular rule. When a word ends in an M, we're not going to say a M sound. Instead, we're going to nasalize the vowel that comes before it. That is the pronunciation rule here. So we're not saying com, we're saying kong, kong. If you're finding it hard to get to that nasal O sound, imagine chopping off the M at the end of kong and putting an NG there instead. Kong, kong. This one usually works. Next up, licença. Licença. Now both of the C's in this word are a S sound, but for different reasons. The first one is a S because it comes before an E, and the second one is a S because it has this little, what I call beard. It's actually called the cedilla, and that tells us not to make a K sound, but make a S instead. So practice this one with me. Com licença, com licença. Now you're prepared if you need to politely get somebody's attention or get past them on the street. The next phrase is to help you ask somebody how they are. Tudo bem, tudo bem. It's really friendly, and then when somebody says it to you, you don't need to reply with anything fancy. You can just reply tudo, obrigada, or obrigado if you're male. So let's break down that pronunciation on this phrase as well. You can probably hear that in the word tudo, I've got two U sounds. One, because I have a U there, tu, and the second one is because whenever a word ends in an O in Portuguese, we're not going to say O, we're going to say U. So this is tudo, tudo. The second word is bem. So if you were paying attention earlier on in the video, you'll remember what the rule is when a word ends in an M. We don't say M. What do we do instead? We nasalize the vowel that goes before it. So this becomes not bem, but bem, bem. So now let's talk about getting around. The first thing that you're probably going to do is call a rideshare to get from the airport to wherever you are going next. Now, with a rideshare app, it's usually going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you because they already know where you're going to be going, but you can definitely bring out your new phrase, tudo bem. Then you might want to just be specific about where you want to be dropped. So you could say, for example, podia deixar-me aqui, podia deixar-me aqui. This means, can you drop me here? Now, I really want to draw your attention to the A in aqui. It's not an open A, ah. It's a closed one. We use this in English as well, so if you're trying to get to the closed A, you can just say words like above, about. It's that sound, aqui. So they might even ask you aqui when we arrive here, and you can say sim, sim, aqui. Now, what if you are exploring on foot and you're looking for a specific landmark, your hotel or maybe the nearest bathroom? You just need 2 words. Onde, fica. Onde, fica. That means where is, and you'll add whatever it is you're looking for. So let's practice 3 common places you're probably going to be looking for. You can repeat after me. Onde fica o hotel? Onde fica o hotel? Where is the hotel? Onde fica a estação? Onde fica a estação? Where is the station? And finally, very important, onde fica a casa de banho? Onde fica a casa de banho? Where is the bathroom? Now let's step into some everyday situations. Whether you're buying fresh fruit at a local market, picking up sunscreen at a pharmacy, or grabbing essentials at the grocery store, these phrases will make sure that your daily interactions are seamless. So when you walk up to the counter or the cashier, the first thing that you want to say before anything is some kind of polite greeting. So again, I have a whole video on this, but for ease, you could say bom dia, good morning, boa tarde, good afternoon, or boa noite. Now, once you have greeted them, you might be looking for something specific on the shelf. So instead of wandering around aimlessly, you could catch a staff member's attention with com licença, which we learned before, and you can ask tem. Now, this is just a very short word, but it means do you have? Tem. Now, there's that nasal sound again because yes, this word ends in an M, so we're going to do that trick that we've been talking about today. We're going to nasalize the vowel that goes before it. So for example, if you're looking for water, you can say tem água. If you need a bag to carry your items, you can say tem saco. Speaking of bags, Portugal, just like a lot of other places, have been trying to limit plastic use, so they will now ask you whether you want a bag or not. So they will say something along the lines of quer saco. So if you're environmentally friendly and you've brought your own, you can say não, obrigada. But if you do need one, you can just say sim. Again, another nasal sound because that word ends in an M. Now, let's say you head to a local market or a shop and you're exploring handicrafts and souvenirs or getting something that you want to bring home, but actually all you want to do is browse. You can say estou só a ver. Estou só a ver. I'm just looking. Makes nice and easy and it takes all the pressure off. Finally, we have to cover the best part of traveling to Portugal, which is of course the food. Now, going into the local pastelaria could feel a little bit intimidating, so I'm going to teach you a phrase that I always teach my students right in the beginning of their course with me, and that's this. O que é isto? O que é isto? That means, what is this? So if you're seeing this array of wonderful cakes and you want to say, what is that? Because you're not sure if it's coffee or chocolate cake, that's very disappointing for me when I think something's chocolate and it turns out to be coffee. This is the phrase you can use. O que é isto? Now, when you start ordering things, numbers are also going to become very important. I do have a whole video on that there, which will help you master the numbers really quickly. And that is going to help you complete this magical phrase that everybody needs to know at the beginning of their Portuguese journey. It's queria, I would like, and se faz favor, which means please. Queria, se faz favor. So, for example, if I want to buy 1 pastel de nata, I will say queria pastel de nata, se faz favor. Now, what about lunch or dinner at a restaurant? When you sit down, they will usually bring you like little couverts, dishes of olives, bread and cheese. But this is a really crucial insider tip. These are not free. So if you eat them, they will be added to your bill. So if you don't want them, you can just politely say, não, obrigada, I don't want, thank you, and the waiter will just take them away. I do break down the whole encounter of asking for the menu and having them help you pick what you're going to eat in this video here. So that would be a really interesting one to check out next. But let's skip to asking for the most important thing, which is the bill. Here's that phrase. A conta, se faz favor. A conta, se faz favor. Remember earlier on I was talking about that closed A that we use in the word for here, aqui. That is the same sound that we need whenever you see an A by itself. Now, in this phrase, a conta means the bill. The letter A there just is standing in for the word the, because the bill, conta, is feminine, so the word for the also needs to be feminine. But I really want you to remember that this closed A sound, like from above, about, that's the one that we need here. A conta, not a conta. Those are open A's. We want closed A's because that is what Portuguese has a lot of, and it helps you sound a lot more Portuguese. So there you have it, a very quick crash course on the things you're definitely going to need on your first trip to Portugal. Even just a handful of these will make your experience 10 times easier and completely change how people treat you when you are here. But if you want to go beyond just memorizing a few survival phrases and actually start feeling confident chatting with locals when you get to Portugal, then you need a simple way to practice. And that's exactly why I put together my free beginners training called Speak Portuguese Like a Pro. In this workshop, I break down how to master tricky pronunciation, how to understand real life Portuguese as it's spoken on the street, and master essential grammar without any boring textbooks. So click the link in the description to save your seat, and I'll look forward to seeing you there. Ciao for now.